Welcome to the Courage to Be podcast. I am your host, Tania Vasallo. How do you start your day? Do you start by reacting or do you start your day with intention? And what do I mean by this? I mean, reacting is you wake up, you look at your phone, and you start looking at emails, social media, news, anything else. And so you're reacting to the day versus setting an intention for yourself and not allowing any of these things that are already going to bombard you throughout the day. So you might as well make an intention and start your day in a different way. I'll share with you a little bit my practice in the morning so that I can set my days with intention versus with reaction. For years, decades now, my mornings are sacred for me. Before I had my daughter, I would wake up and the first 2 to 3 hours would be my time for me, meaning I would journal, I would meditate, I would visualize, I would exercise, then I'd have a healthy breakfast, and then I was ready to start my day around 10 a.m. So I'd get up around 6:37 and I had that 3-hour chunk of time for me before I even started looking at emails or doing anything else with the world. That was me time. Then we also know that we have different seasons in our life. So when my daughter was born, I obviously couldn't allocate 3 hours to myself because I needed to nurse her. I was maybe sleepy. So I'd pick and choose. And I remember for a period, I'd either just journal, and it wouldn't be a long journaling, maybe 20 minutes or something like that. And then I'd bring in my meditations while I was nursing or if I had to put her to sleep. And so now I'm in a season in my life where I still get to start my day with intention, because no matter how busy your life is, you can still start your day with intention versus reaction. And I truly invite you to try this on. If you're someone that wakes up and the first thing you have to do is put on the news or check your social to see how many likes you've gotten or any emails, try this on. Take it on as a challenge. I remember with one of my clients, Ricky, years ago, she was getting really stressed out with the news, and that's how she would start her day. And I challenged her and I said, why don't you instead turn off the news and maybe you can go for a walk, or you could go for a meditation or do some journaling. And it changed. It was a game changer for her. She didn't think she was going to be able to do it, but she did. And I don't know if Ricky still watches the news or at what points of the day she does, but I know she doesn't start her day with the news. As a matter of fact, this morning in our morning, we have a morning meetup. We meet up at 6 a.m. for our 5:55 a.m. club. And she was sharing that she was so proud of herself, this particular client, because she was able to hold her breath for 45 seconds. And this is huge for her because when she started practicing breath work, she couldn't do more than 15, 20 seconds. And she's in her 60s. So this is not someone that's like in their 20s that has big lung capacity, but she's been exercising this. So what a wonderful way with this example of her setting an intention for the day, starting your day with gratitude, with appreciation, with presence, with intention. So I invite you to ask yourself, and this is not to shame yourself or make yourself feel guilty or anything, but maybe take it on as a challenge for the next 2 weeks. I would challenge you for 3 weeks. They do say that in order for us to change and create habits, we need to do them for at least 21 days. I would say a full month if you can. But if you can't, then take on the challenge for the next 3 weeks to wake up, and maybe the first thing you do before you even get out of bed is just be grateful that you're alive, that you got another day. Take a breath, breathe into it, and then with your eyes still closed and still in bed, just kind of rehearse your day, like what's to come. What's your intention? What's the first things in the morning that you're going to do? Be grateful. Maybe you can do some gratitude in bed. And then go brush your teeth, do whatever you have to do, prep your green tea or your coffee or your hot water with lemon. That's much more digestive. And Then set an intention. I love doing this with journaling, and maybe I'll do another episode with my journaling prompts that you can use. And set an intention for the day. And what kind of feeling are you looking for? What's your intention? Because that's the difference with starting our day with intention versus with reaction. So decide for the next 3 weeks, will you journal, and just allocate. All you need is an extra half an hour. So if you go to bed 30 minutes earlier and wake up 30 minutes before everyone else in the household, if you're a mom, if you have kids running around. So I invite you, wake up 30 minutes before and decide what you're going to do in that 30 minutes that's just time for you to set your day with intention. Do you want to sip on your warm lemon water or your tea or your coffee? Are you journaling? Are you journaling with prompts? Are you just doing morning pages like Julia Cameron taught all of us with morning pages and just doing stream of consciousness writing? But I invite you to challenge yourself not to react, meaning picking up the phone and looking at emails, news, or anything else, but instead either start with meditation, start with journaling, or start with exercising. And I'd love to hear how this practice has been going for you. Just send us an email or send us in your comments. Happy journaling and setting your day with intention. If you loved today's episode, it would mean so much if you rate and review The Courage to Be on Apple Podcast. Not only does it help the show to grow, but it also gets you in the running for something amazing. Every month, I draw one lucky winner to receive a complimentary 7-night, 8-day vacation. You'll get to pick from over 3,000 beautiful resorts worldwide. You just cover the taxes and fees like you would with a travel rewards. Airfare is not included. And if you want to double your chances, along with your Apple Podcast review, leave a couple of comments on YouTube. That counts as a second entry. Just send your screenshots to help.thecouragetobe@gmail.com, and you'll find the email in the show notes too. It only takes a moment, and who knows, your next adventure might be closer than you think. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on our next episode of the Courage to Be podcast.